Give us that 60-second breakdown of who you are
Yeah.
and what makes you the authority in this space.
So I started about 4 years ago with a show called Real Estate Uncensored. We were initially a YouTube live show, and then we eventually, I don't know, 3 or 4 months later, launched it onto iTunes as a quote unquote podcast. And then I started having a lot of amazing guests and started working with another leader in the real estate space on the Team Building podcast and co-hosted that for a couple of years and all that fun stuff. So I was really deep. I started a real estate team back before the crash and stuff like that. And there were certain aspects of it that I really enjoyed, which was the marketing and the team building side. And then everything else I couldn't stand, including the client part. So that led me back into helping agents market through video at my old agency. And I ended up stepping out and running a podcast production agency because I essentially got sucked into it by people asking me kind of the same thing that you guys are asking me, which is what we'll talk about today. Should I run a podcast? If so, who should I be speaking to and what should I use it for? And in most cases for agents, the answer is no. We'll talk about why that is. The reason I got sucked into running an agency is because I was running a podcast not for the public, but for other agents, which worked really well to generate demand for coaching services and B2B services, things like that. So those are the clients that I work with. 2 of my clients have built 7-figure real estate teams where they net 7 figures off of their team and manage it in 1 day a week. Nice. Both of them have then gone on to build coaching organizations that are 6 and 7 figures on top of their real estate team. Right. Those are the folks that I got a chance to work with. And so podcasting works really well for them. And we'll talk about why it doesn't work well for agents marketing to the consuming public and what to do about that and what to do instead of podcasting. But that's kind of how I got into this world. So I ended up being kind of accidentally, so to speak, the guy to come to if you wanted to get into podcasting and you were a real estate coach. So I produce, Lars Hedenberg's podcast with Real Estate B School, Team Building with Jeff Cohn, Club Wealth by Michael Hellickson, and some other smaller ones that certain pockets would know and some wouldn't. I did a bunch of stuff with viral marketing. I produced Greg Harrelson's podcast and co-hosted that with him for a long time. So yeah, that's kind of I ended up being kind of deep into that space. That's where I'm coming from.